In the summer of 1999, a 15-year-old boy from a quiet Florida suburb typed a single line of code that brought NASA's International Space Station operations to a screeching halt for 3 weeks, stealing the very software that kept astronauts alive in orbit. But why would the world's most secure agency fall to a kid's bedroom keyboard? And what did the Pentagon do when they realized he wasn't done? To grasp why a teenager could unravel the threads of American superpower, we must rewind to the flickering dawn of the digital age. The 1990s, the Cold War's ashes still smoldered as the internet exploded from a clunky ARPANET relic into a global nervous system. Born in 1969 as a Defense Department project, the web was meant to make the US invincible, secure comms, unbreakable intel flows. But by the mid-90s, it birthed a shadow world. Hackers, script kiddies, freakers dialing into phone lines for free calls. Remember Kevin Mitnick, the most wanted cyber fugitive chased by the FBI in '95? Or the Morris worm of '88, crashing 10% of the early net? These weren't state actors. They were curious minds poking holes in the machine. Fast forward, by 1999, Y2K loomed like a digital Armageddon, with governments dumping billions into firewalls and encryption. The Pentagon, guardian of nukes and satellites, viewed cyber as the new frontier. Classified briefs warned of information warfare from China or rogue coders. Yet vulnerabilities festered. Outdated Unix servers, default passwords like admin, and engineers too busy launching shuttles to patch code. NASA alone juggled 17,000 systems, many legacy from Apollo days, riddled with backdoors. A GAO report that year flagged 163 high-risk hacks on federal nets, costing $2.7 billion in fixes. In an era when dial-up modems screeched like banshees and Netscape ruled the browser wars, one kid's curiosity collided with complacency, exposing how fragile the empire's digital armor truly was. This wasn't isolated. It echoed in later breaches like SolarWinds or Log4j, proving that the greatest threats often come not from missiles, but from modems in suburban garages. Meet Jonathan Joseph James, born December 12, 1983, in Pinecrest, Florida, a sun-soaked bedroom community south of Miami, where palm trees swayed over manicured lawns and kids dreamed of pro sports or Silicon Valley. John, as friends called him, was no ordinary teen. Skinny, with a mop of dark hair and wire-rimmed glasses that magnified his intense brown eyes. He was the kid who dismantled radios at age 5, reassembling them blindfolded by 7. His father, a computer programmer for a local firm, brought home the family's first gateway PC in 1989, a clunky beige tower with a 286 processor that hummed like a spaceship. John was hooked instantly. It was like magic, he'd later say in rare interviews, fingers flying over keys while siblings played outside. By 10, he was devouring manuals on C++ and assembly language, trading floppy disks of cracked games with neighborhood geeks. School, a drag. John skipped classes to code, earning straight A's in math but detentions for hacking the school's grading system to bump his buddies' scores. At 13, he discovered phreaking, mimicking tones with a toy whistle to reroute AT&T calls, saving his family $200 a month on long distance. But the spark? BBS boards, electronic bulletin boards, where hackers swapped exploits over 300 baud modems. Under the handle Serum Raid, a nod to Comrade in Arms, he lurked in shadows like The Shrine or Psycho Hackers, absorbing tales of Mitnick's escapes. No malice, just thrill. I wanted to see if I could, he'd confess. The first domino fell in March 1999. Bored during spring break, 15-year-old John targeted a low-hanging fruit, the U.S. Department of Defense's Duluth, Minnesota weather station, a forgotten outpost monitoring Great Lakes storms for military flights. Using a pilfered password from a Yahoo chat, guest123, he slipped in via Telnet, planting a backdoor shell. What started as a prank, rerouting radar pings to show phantom hurricanes, snowballed. From there, he pivoted to bigger fish, NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. Why NASA? A forum post bragged that their servers ran vulnerable DECnet protocols, ripe for SNMP exploits. On June 28th, John fired up his Pentium 2, loaded WinNuke, a denial-of-service tool, and breached the firewall. Inside, goldmine. He mirrored 300,000 lines of source code for the International Software Control Center, the beating heart-piping commands to the ISS's life support. Thermostats, oxygen recyclers, waste processors. Cost to NASA? $41,000 in downtime, plus 3 weeks of scrubbed shuttle preps. John didn't sell it. He read it, mesmerized by lines governing zero-grav toilets. But alarms blared. Logs traced the IP to his family's Comcast line. By July, FBI agents knocked on James's door, badges flashing under the porch light. John, pale in his Smashing Pumpkins tee, handed over his rig without a fight. "I just wanted to learn," he whispered. That confession? It marked the end of boyhood, and the birth of a legend the Pentagon couldn't ignore. The breach scaled, from a kid's curiosity to a full-spectrum federal frenzy. What began as a Duluth dial-in rippled outward like a worm in wet code. John's NASA incursion wasn't solo. He'd chain-jumped to the Pentagon's Defense Threat Reduction Agency in Dulles, Virginia, a vault of bioweapon sims and nuke countermeasures. There, he snagged admin creds for satellite recon tools, briefly commandeering a feed to spy on Miami traffic from orbit. Panic mode, NASA's CIO testified before Congress, decrying juvenile jihadists, eroding national security. The FBI's elite cyber action team, fresh off Mitnick, swarmed Florida, tapping phones, raiding arcades, even grilling John's Little League coach for psych profiles. The twist? Scale exploded globally. John's code dump leaked to underground forums, inspiring copycats. A Dutch teen mirrored the ISS hack days later, while Chinese fishers probed DoD extranets. By fall '99, the White House issued Executive Order 14107, funneling $1.5 billion into CERT teams and intrusion detection. John, under house arrest in a monitored trailer, watched CNN pundits dub him the Space Station Bandit. But isolation bred obsession. Sneaking a hidden Palm Pilot, he probed Bell South networks, siphoning 16,000 credit cards in a side gig. Violating probation? Slam. 6 months in a low-sec juvenile lockup near Tampa, where guards strip-searched him daily, and cellmates called him NASA nerd. Released at 16, scarred but sharper, John emerged into a world remade. Cybercrime, now a felony racketeering charge, with the CFAA amended to jail minors. The boy had multiplied threats 100-fold, turning one breach into a blueprint for the cyber arms race. Beneath the hacks lurked motives deeper than mischief, a clash of generations, where a prodigy collided with a bureaucracy blind to youth's fire. John wasn't driven by cash or chaos. Interviews paint a gentle soul, quoting Nietzsche between bites of Pizza Hut. "Power corrupts, but curiosity liberates," he'd quip, echoing his hacker ethos. Probe to protect, expose flaws before foes do. Yet the feds saw malice, a terrorist in training, per leaked memos, fueled by post-Columbine paranoia where any outlier kid raised red flags. Ego stung too. DoD brass, Vietnam vets turned sysadmins, bristled at humiliation by a teen half their age. How does a boy outsmart Sputnik's heirs? One general fumed in closed sessions. The money angle? Slim. John's Bell South Hall netted $8,000 in burner phone flips, pocket change for thrills. But the real currency? Influence. Post-release, John consulted for startups, pen-testing ATMs for fun, his rep a double-edged sword. Wired profiled him as the ethical outlaw in 2001, while NSA watch lists shadowed his every login. This ego loop peaked in 2003. Invited to Black Hat, John demoed a zero-day on Cisco routers, earning applause and a Secret Service tale. The twist twisted further. Motive morphed from solo quest to reluctant icon, as mentors like Mitnick urged him toward white hat reform. Yet scars festered, depression meds, therapy sessions dissecting hackers high. By 2006, at 22, John coded antivirus for a Miami firm, dreaming of Silicon Valley. But the government's grudge? Unyielding. a crown of thorns for a boy who just wanted to fly digital kites. The cover-up cracked wide, not in headlines, but in the quiet erosion of a life under siege. Officially, John's case was resolved. Plea deal, community service, a sealed juvenile record. The Pentagon spun it as a win. Swift justice deters digital delinquents, per DOJ pressers, downplaying the $1.7 million in cleanup, the classified code still circulating on dark web mirrors. Yet whispers told the truth. Internal audits blamed insider apathy, not kid cunning. Engineers admitted leaving root access wide open, like unlocked vault doors in Fort Knox. John's family fractured too. Dad, once proud, divorced amid scandal. Mom, a teacher, fielded PTA sneers. The lie exposed in 2007. The TJX breach, a mega hack siphoning 94 million credit cards from retailers like Marshall's. Feds fingered John as ringleader, raiding his apartment at dawn, seizing servers etched with COMM raid graffiti. Evidence? Flimsy, IP overlaps from his old Bell South days, chat logs twisted out of context. John denied it vehemently. "I hung up my black hat years ago," he told lawyers, voice cracking. But pre-trial hell mounted. $100,000 bail he couldn't post. House arrest redux with ankle monitors chafing sleep. Suicidal ideation logs from his therapist leaked to prosecutors, painting him as unstable. The twist, a red-stamped classified on the indictment, hid DoD ties. TJX systems shared DoD logistics backends, suggesting John's early hacks seeded the vulnerability. As trial loomed in May 2008, John penned a final note: "I can't fight ghosts forever." On May 18th in his bathroom, a .22 caliber ended it at 24. Autopsy ruled suicide. Feds closed the book, but hackers mourned a martyr. Forums ablaze with free C-Surom raid ghosts. The echoes reverberated, transforming one boy's tragedy into the Pentagon's perpetual nightmare. John's death didn't bury the code, it amplified it. Post-TJX, Congress rammed through the 2008 Cyber Command Act, birthing U.S. Cybercom, with 6,000 troops hunting advanced persistent threats, kids included. His exploits? Textbook now, dissected in Quantico Sims. Operation COZLM raid drills teach cadets how a single SNMP scan felled titans. But the human cost? Buried. John's mom sued for wrongful accusation, settling quietly for $50,000. Gag order intact. Scale twisted global. Inspired by John, Anonymous launched Op NASA in 2010, DDoSing Goddard in protest. State actors adapted too. Russia's Fancy Bear cribbed his chain exploitation for DNC hacks. China's APT-41 mirrored the weather station pivot for SolarWinds. By 2015, the OPM breach exposed 21 million Feds data, echoing John's "just see if I could." The Pentagon's fear. Not tanks or nukes, but the democratization of destruction. Any bored teen with Kali Linux could be the next domino. John's ghost haunts boardrooms. Annual budgets ballooned to $18 billion by 2025, yet breaches persist. His motive, once pure curiosity, now fuels a generation. Ethical hackers at DEF CON toast CICOM raid, while red teamers earn six figures patching his old holes. The boy didn't just hack systems, he hacked the hierarchy, proving power's fragility in fiber optics. The reckoning hit home. As John's shadow stretched into today's headlines, mirroring fresh fears in a hyperconnected hellscape. The Pentagon, terrified anew, rolling out AI sentinels like Project Maven, but even those falter. A GAO probe last year found 70% of DoD systems still run unpatched vulns, ripe for C0M Raid 2.0. The money motive resurfaces twisted. Cybercrime's a $10 trillion shadow economy per Interpol, with teen mules laundering ransomware for cartels. John's ego? Reflected in stars like Swirl, the 17-year-old who, in 2024, exposed NSA backdoors on X, vanishing into witness protection. Cover-ups persist. Feds classify juvenile hacks, but leaks, like the 2023 Discord dump of Air Force gamer soldiers selling clearances, betray the civ. John's family? His brother Robert runs a cybersecurity nonprofit, Code for Good, training at-risk youth in ethical white hatting, turning potential C0M raids into defenders. Yet the twist cuts deep. In a world of quantum keys and zero trust, the simplest threat endures. The boy next door, modem in hand, asking, "What if?" John's unfinished code? A virus in the system reminding Brass that fear isn't of foreign foes, but of fostering the minds that could save or shatter them. The Pentagon never feared the code Jonathan stole. They feared the boy who showed their invincible fortress was built on sand, one curious keystroke from collapse. Thanks for sticking with us on this one. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next video.